It says one diagonal of a parallelogram is 14 inches long and makes an angle of 42 degrees and 18 degrees with the sides. So we have that here. Here's the diagonal of our parallelogram that's 14 inches. It makes angles 18 and 42 degrees. Find the lengths x and y of the sides. All right, so this one's not quite as complicated as our previous problem. What we're first going to do is talk about parallelograms and what we know about their angles. So again, we're doing a little geometry review here. Now in a parallelogram, and I'll draw this one without the diagonals in it. Okay, this corner here, what would that total angle be? Okay, that's what we want to find first. Okay, so we go 18 and 42 together is 60 degrees. So this angle here would be a total of 60. Well, in parallelograms, the opposite angles are congruent. So this would also be 60. Adjacent angles, the angles next to one another, are supplementary. They add to be 180. So if this angle is 60, to find the one next to it, you just subtract from 180.
And we get 120. So both of these angles are 120. So notice we can come back over to our parallelogram, and this angle would be 120 as well as this angle. They would both be 120. What does it do for us? Well, it gives us the tools to use the law of sines to solve this problem for x and for y. If we want to fill in the other angles, we can. Again, parallel lines with a transversal, so the alternate interiors are congruent. Again, a geometry principle. But to find my x and y, notice I have two separate triangles. I have 14. I want to find x. I know that angle's 18, 120, and 42. If we wanted to set up the law of sines, remember you use pairs, what you have both of. There's one pair right there. So 14 over the sine of the angle, 120. And we want x, so what's opposite x? Well, 42. So we have the side x over the sine of 42. Okay? It was helpful that we remembered alternate interior angles so that we knew that that angle was 42. All right, so now let's go ahead and solve for x. We have to multiply by the sine of 42. And we have x is 14 times the sine of 42 divided by sine 120. All right, and we find that x is 10.8. For y, I'm going to draw another, I'm going to do the bottom triangle because that's where my y is located. We're going to do this very similar thing. Fill in my angles, fill in my 14, and make sure you put your y in the right place. Again, set up the pairs. 14 was opposite the 120. Okay, so the side 14 over the sine of 120 should equal, and we're solving for y, so look for its opposite, which would be 18. So y over the sine of 18. Now all we have to do is solve for y. So we're going to go ahead and multiply both sides by sine 18. And we get that y is 14 times the sine of 18 divided by the sine of 120. All right, so if we calculate that, we get 4.995 and just round that to 5.